Welcome to Game Savers Podcast, your next-gen gaming podcast for news, reviews, previews, impressions, analyses, and roundtable discussions involving past, present, and future games. My name is Tony Morris, and today I'm joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Wayne, and I love video games.
And we've also got member of the Game Savers family, Alex, back in the house.
Hi, I'm Alex, connoisseur of weird noise in video games.
You know it, that's right. But we're all in the house today to discuss a game that is very near and dear to our hearts. Not the series, but just the first game in it, and that is Mario Kart back on the SNES, the SNES, whatever you want to call it, from way back in the day. So, yep, you can see it there in the background as well. We're going to be going over that. We'll talk about the game, the impact it had on the industry. Obviously it goes without saying that Mario Kart, you can't say that name in any room without there being maybe a duel or a battle royale about to happen of some sort amongst friends. So a very, very well known and loved series. Again, we're just going to be discussing the first game today, and I'm sure we'll talk about the other ones at some point, maybe even the entire franchise. But let's just dive right into things. Wayne, feel free to take it away.
Yeah, let's get stuck in. This is a game that's very, very near and dear to my heart. It brings back fantastic memories of playing with friends whenever I was around about the age of, I would say, about 17, 18. Also the age of discovering alcohol. So it was a great game to sit down with a load of beers and have some fun with friends. So sometimes a game, it's that social aspect of it that makes it what it is. But with Super Mario Kart, it was the quality of the game as well as the social interaction. I think it's an incredible game, and I just want to spend half an hour, 45 minutes today running through why I love that game. So who hasn't played the original Super Nintendo? Whether you were about in 1992 or not, I'm sure at some stage, whether it's been on an emulator or the new Super Nintendo Classic, that little mini console that Nintendo put out, or the Virtual Console on the Wii or the Wii U or the Switch, I would say most people with an interest in Nintendo game have probably played this. But what is it? It's a kart racer that came out in, as I say, 1992 with a roster of Mario characters. It's set across 20 tracks. It was the fourth best-selling game on that console, and it's set up a bunch of sequels. I don't think there's been a single Nintendo console that doesn't have a Mario Kart game on it. So it's historically important. It's a fantastic game, and it's brilliant. And that's what I want to start with. So guys, what are your memories of this? Did you play this first time round, or was this something you just kind of came at in a sort of retrospective as we're doing now, I guess?
Well, I didn't actually have the game back in the day because my parents were actually pretty strict when it came to video games. They allowed me to play some video games, but for example, I wasn't allowed to play Street Fighter because apparently you can kill people in there.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, that's what my father actually said. And the same goes with Mario Kart because nobody drives like that. You shouldn't play this game. This is a bad example for something you should do. Yeah. So I wasn't allowed to get the game actually, but all of my friends had this game. So I was really, I'm going to go to this friend and we're going to play Mario Kart all day. Then next day I'm going to go to another friend's house and we're going to play Mario Kart all day and ruin our friendships.
But I was the same. I never actually owned a Super Nintendo. Again, it was going to a friend's house. Still a good friend of a guy called Darren, and it was him who had it. I actually remember Mario Kart is the first game that I remember that was hard to get hold of. You know, the way at the minute we've got these Series X droughts and the PlayStation 5 droughts and you can't get your hands on it. I remember the same thing with Mario Kart. You just could not get a cart. And I remember him going around all the shops in town and it was sold out and he was gutted. And I wasn't super into games at the time. As I say, I was mainly playing games around a friend's house. So I didn't really get it. You know, whenever someone's angry that they can't get a game, I'm kind of like, calm down. It's just a game.
You mean he couldn't just download it on Nintendo Live or something back in the 90s?
Couldn't even get it on CD.
There was no internet.
So he finally got that copy on. It was from Toys R Us, and I think Toys R Us had just recently come to Europe. And then once we got playing it, it was obvious why it was so desired and why he wanted this game so much. We'll talk. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Tony.
was just gonna say when I jumped into this game, it was actually in grade school. So this game came out shortly after I was born. So I didn't get to play it at the time it was coming out, which I'm glad you guys got to. But I played it a little bit later on, not too much later, but a few years. I was still pretty young, still remember it really well. Even playing it through the other night, still rings true 100%. But
Mhm.
I actually remember playing this in school. Was my first introduction to this game, and I don't know what class we were in. Just too young to remember, but I do remember playing this game in school. Which to me was mind blowing to even think about playing video games in school back in the early 90s, because that just, even today is not really that much of a thing, it's still a taboo subject in some forms. So, got to play it, played it at friends' houses, things like that. I've been with this franchise since that game. And, it's grown all the way up to Mario Kart 8, where it is now being re-released on the Switch as the deluxe edition. And, just a fantastic game. I remember it's hard as hell. I think that might have been the first game that induced rage for me, but that was that title goes to Mario Kart SNES. So that was my initial memory of the game.
I really think it's surprising how hard this game actually is. Like, I just replayed it today, just like an hour or so, and was stunned by how hard it is to actually navigate through the courses and everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if it's not the navigating, it's like the rubber banding and all these other mechanics you didn't see in racing games at the time. It was hard to win this game.
Yeah,
man.
It lulls you into that false sense of security as well, because we'll talk about the modes here. Grand Prix is basically where you've got yourself against I think is it 12? No, it's seven other CPU control characters.
Yep.
And you start off on 50cc. So it's nice and slow. It's very forgiving, and it's quite easy, and you can blast through 50cc. 100cc's, it's a bit of a challenge. A couple of goes, and you'll probably get through it. But yeah, 150cc really is where the skill comes into it, and not just the skill. Sometimes an awful lot of luck as well. It's challenging. It's hard to get all those gold cups on 150cc. Did you ever manage it?
It's like driving on ice. On that game,
it is.
No.
Yeah.
I can say I've done that. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I can say I've done that on a lot of the other Mario Kart games with 150. I think they made it a lot easier, and that's just, handling controls and things like that, the general mechanics of it. But in that game, absolutely not. There was no way in hell. I was skilled enough at the time to go through and beat it on 150cc in any capacity.
I remember we actually did manage to beat it on 150cc, but we done it in such a way that so as I say, it was around my friend's house that I would play it a lot, and he'd get me round. His role was to win the match. My role was actually to hang back, and attack the CPU control players. And try and stop them down. Like, I don't know if you noticed, like, the leaderboards would always be in the same order. So if Peach came second and Toad came third each time, it's always going to be Peach and Toad second and third, so that they're getting the points to compete with you. But if I held back and if I hit Peach just before the finish line, she'd end up coming in fourth or fifth, and that kind of screwed up the table, and it gave you a wee bit more leeway to get that gold medal and stuff. So much fun.
Never actually realized this. Seriously.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say, Alex?
So your rule or your way of playing was actually just causing as much mayhem as you can, or what?
Pretty much. Yeah. It was nice. Really good fun. That was the Grand Prix, and the Grand Prix consists of 4 cups. Those cups are Mushroom, Flower, Star, and Special. The Special was locked until you finished Mushroom, Flower, and Star. Because when I went back to replay it recently, I looked at it and there was 3 cups. And I'm sitting going, no, there's definitely more than that.
Wait a damn minute.
Like, did I play a different version of it? And then once I got the gold and star, it unlocked Special. But those cups are obviously named after like power-ups from Mario. So, the mushroom that makes it big, the flower that gives him shooting, and the Special that gives him the star that gives him invincibility and whatnot. But the tracks, there was 20 tracks. Does anyone have any favorites?
Oh, can't go without saying Rainbow Road. I mean,
Rainbow Road, hell yeah.
Oh man, I got PTSD when you talk about this.
Rainbow Road.
Maybe the 2 Bowser's Castle tracks. I like them very much, with a big, I don't know what they're called, powwows. The the rocks with the faces that slam down.
The little thwompers. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Whompers. Thanks.
And they're on Rainbow Road as well, if I remember right.
They are. Yep.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple of bits where it kind of splits off onto two thinner bits, and you get one on each of them. That's can be quite a challenge. But yeah, Tony, I think that's a brilliant shout. Rainbow Road. To me, it was one of those ones when you start playing Rainbow Road, when you first come across it, and you go, "Hold on a minute, there's no safety net here. There's no walls. You know, one spin or one bad power slide or one bad turn, and you're off the edge, and that can put you. I mean, it's unforgiving at times whenever you go off the edge. That can put you from first place to 8th place, just like that.
Was that like a horror game back in the early 90s? Because if you slid off the edge into like outer space, I mean, like was that a thing yet? Normally you would just die and you see it, but you fall into nothingness. That's it. That's terrifying, right?
There's something oddly existential about that, isn't there? Yeah. But to me,
very, very understood now.
Yeah. The satisfying thing about that was when you first went into Rainbow Road, it was so tough, and it just wasn't what you were used to compared to the 19 courses you just got up to. But when you do nail Rainbow Road, when you've got it, it is so satisfying. When you power slide around one of those corners and you just come off and you're perfectly aligned with the road ahead of you. Oh, it's a good feeling. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, some of those tracks too. I mean, if you go back and look at these, simple designs, your standard kart racer tracks, nothing too crazy as far as twist turns and, whatever you call them, like clovers, eight tracks, things like that. But just the way these were set up, right, where you had the layout of sometimes there's little obstacles like mud or I think of like the way coins were there. Like now in Mario Kart, if you're going to hit a coin, it's floating there in front of you. It's fucking easy to find. But back then, that thing was laying on the ground. It was almost impossible to see sometimes too, depending where you were at in the turn.
Yeah, and in the original Mario Kart, those coins never respawned. So there was a set amount of coins in the ground, and that's it. And I don't know if a lot of people noticed. Now, I know we're not used to. I can't remember the manual for Mario Kart. But the game itself tells you very little, It doesn't even tell you how to accelerate. Everything's just go for it.
So you could basically say this is the Dark Souls of fun racers.
Yeah. but there's one wee thing, and I think a lot of people still don't realize this. The coins actually make you go faster. So up till having 10 coins, that increases your maximum speed. So there is a benefit. I remember a lot of people going, what are these coins for? Why are we collecting coins? But there is a benefit for it. Makes you go faster.
I'll be honest, I did not know that until Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
It took me that long.
Same here. Same here, because it was a little bit more explained in this game. Well, not really explained, but you notice it. And I was like, this is new. That's a nice new feature.
Yeah.
Went back to the old games and I was like, oh, this was always there.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Talking about favorite courses, for me, I absolutely loved the Ghost. I was going to say Ghost Valley courses, especially the first one. I mean, we spent most of our time on either Grand Prix or we would have been in battle mode, which we will talk about later. It was only occasionally that we would do like time trials, and if we were doing time trials, it was always Ghost Valley 1, and it would be literally shaving like milliseconds off the other person's best time. We had those courses nailed right down. I love that. I still go back to it. Ghost Valley just puts a smile on my face.
Was this the one course with the shortcut? I remember there's one like
yes. If you get the feather, that's one way of doing it. I think there's a few other ways that if you get a boost at just the right time, you can blast it. That's favorite courses. Did anyone have any least favorite courses? Any courses they weren't particularly keen on, or ones that frustrated them or annoyed them?
Donut Plains, 100%.
You're way ahead of me. Yeah.
Ugly to look at. It's hard 100%. As hell. Yup. I mean, man, like just even the word donut these days terrifies me from that.
Oh, I can't say the same on that front. Those little gophers, the gophers that used to jump out, and they've kept those in. They're still in some of the modern games, and I hate that.
I think they're still in there in Mario Kart 8,
they
right?
Are. Yeah.
And I remember always slamming into them, like losing my top position, getting so infuriated. I'm going to play this game again.
Yeah.
Putting down my controller in an intense way.
Donut Plains was so slidey. I mean, there was an ice course, which was Vanilla Lake, and it was slidey, but yet somehow I thought Donut Plains was even slidier than the icy one. It was just awkward to control. It was a tough one. But, regardless of it being my least favorite course, still brilliant. Still loved it,
Yeah. And there were 20 tracks total in that, which was
20 tracks across 4 cups. Yeah.
Wow.
Holy. Who did you guys play as?
Always Toad. All the time.
Toad, no way.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but there was just like this rumor going on between my friends, and Toad is the most balanced racer. He's the most fastest. He's the most agile. So it was always, when we started to play a run, who gets Toad first.
Yeah. Again, it's something that wasn't explained in game, but the characters are actually broken into 4 classes. So you've Mario and Luigi are the same. Princess and Yoshi are the same. Bowser and Donkey Kong, they would be like less acceleration than the other characters, but they've actually got the top speed. And then Koopa and Toad, as you say, probably the most balanced of the lot. I had to play as Koopa. Now, everyone thought Toad was the best. Toad was the best character. But if you were going around to your friend's house and it was your friend's Super Nintendo, he got first shout. He was player 1, so he got to pick the first character. So I always wanted to be Toad, but I always had to make do with Koopa. And I've kind of stuck with that. Even whenever I play Mario Kart now, I kind of stick with Koopa.
Even though player 2.
Even though I kind of want to play Toad.
Here, pick Cooper. Here's the third-party controller.
Here's a Mad Catz or whatever it was back then.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, I am so accustomed to using Toad or Koopa that I think if I put that game on now and tried playing it with Mario or Luigi or Princess or Yoshi, I'd be all over the place.
Yeah, the handling style is still there.
Yeah, and it's amazing for such a simplistic, basic, arcade, fun karty racer. It's amazing just how different each of those little characters control.
I could say I really, really loved Bowser. I liked having those heavy mechanics. I also played Mario a lot, which was super basic, and I still bounce back and forth between those two these days. Some Donkey Kong. I really like those heavy racers. I think of other games like Crash. I always go for Tiny Tiger and things like that. I've just been drawn to those characters for some reason. So
yeah, I did. I went through a period of using Bowser and Donkey Kong purely because it was whenever we were finally blessed with the magnificent internet and YouTube and such, and you could go online and find out people were doing time trials and uploading them, and it was always Bowser and Donkey Kong. If you look up the best speeds, they're the ones. You get your speed up to maximum and you just hold it there and you don't make any mistakes. You'll get fantastic times.
Basically just bulldoze through the courses, right? You just smash all the other drivers to the left and right. I was at this one. There was like a Mario Kart tournament in a pub here in Cork, like 2 years ago, and then we were just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go there. And the winner, he actually won. I think it was Donkey Kong or Bowser, I don't remember, but it was just like impossible to win against him because it was really just like smashing through it the entire time.
Did you guys ever participate in tournaments or anything like that for this game? Because I know that was a pretty active scene back then, in some areas.
Not tournaments per se, but I mean, we took it that seriously.
You would have thought being on the couch, it was a goddamn major league tournament, right?
Yeah, I would say there was control pads maybe tossed to the side once or twice,
Yeah, that was
how many arguments did you settle with playing Mario Kart?
Oh, good question.
I think it probably created more than anything for us, man. Yeah. Like we still, I'm not even joking. Like when we go home to see the family, we still fire up the Mario Kart like all these years later because it's that pivotal. That just props to Nintendo for that. Holy cow! Because what longevity to see out of a franchise that it's been around for almost 30 years now.
Almost 30 years.
Yeah, pushing 30 years. I wonder will they do anything for like a Mario Kart 30th anniversary? Because
man,
I know that a lot of the modern games already incorporate classic courses into them. I'd love to see. Can you imagine if they'd done like Mario Kart 30th anniversary and they just put every single course of all time into one?
See, that's what I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think that they're going to come out with something like that where it's a Smash? Because we saw that here in the last couple of years. We saw Smash Bros. Ultimate, right? That's come out. It's actually called Smash
Everyone
Ultimate.
is here.
Yeah, everyone's here, right? And the whole roster is there from all the previous entries in the series. You've got some extra DLC characters now. Biggest roster they've ever had. And I don't even know if we're going to get another Smash just because there's so many in this game. I can't imagine them doing it again. Do you think we'll get that kind of the setup from Nintendo for the Mario Kart series?
That's a good question.
Because we've seen sometimes now in Mario Kart where you think of like I don't even know, like maybe Mario Kart 7, 8, where they remake some from Mario Kart Double Dash comes back, right?
Yeah,
and they bring back a course or two from there or an entire cup.
What I could actually see is like that they put out like a Mario Kart collection, like they did with the Super Mario All Stars 3D. Like put like Mario Kart 64 in there, Double Dash, the original Mario Kart. I could see something like this happen.
I wouldn't. I'm not on board with that. I don't think that'd be good because to me, you've got all those different elements that could have been mashed together into just one game. You know, that's. I would like to see just one big celebration of everything Mario Kart put into one game. I'll tell you where my money is. If someone said to me, "What do you think they'll next do with Mario Kart in terms of innovation?" We got Mario Kart Maker, where you design your own courses.
Yep.
In fact, I would say that's almost inevitable. I think they're bound to go with that.
Well, we also got Home Circuit here too, didn't we? Home Circuit here in the last month.
Home Circuit was like a sort of bizarre monstrosity of a Mario Kart game. I don't think I even count that. It was just a wee bit too off the rails, even though, well, yeah, it is.
I'm wondering how. Yeah, I'm just wondering how good this may be sold because I didn't see like a lot of buzz going on for Home Circuit.
We talked it. None of us know anyone that bought it. Not a single person.
Not one.
All right.
I had a friend that was going to buy it, but he's got 2 kids and he realized he need to buy 2 carts, and that's £200 instead of £100.
Is that 200 each or just one?
It's £100 each. So.
Oh my god!
So if you imagine you had 4 kids and you have to buy like 4 carts, you'd just be like,
no way, I'm out. just go buy it. You can buy like what, the Switch at that point and the Mario Kart 8 game with 4 controllers. Like
absolutely.
And by the time you pay this money, you can also get like a Series X or a PS5.
Yeah,
there you go.
Lucky enough to get it.
Right, I'm going to pull us back on track again here. Forgive the pun.
I see what you did there.
Not bad.
Weapons within the game. It wouldn't be a Mario Kart game if you couldn't fuck each other up. What were your weapon of choice, guys? What did you like?
Oh,
of course, red.
It's the red shell, isn't it? You know.
As we call it, Friendship Destroyer 9000.
The Homan shell, we would have given it the nickname of the Homan shell. Not particularly inventive or anything, but yeah. If you haven't played the game, there was 2 types of shells that you could throw at another character. So you had a green one which went out in a straight line, and then it bounced around pretty much forever till it hit something. And then you had a red shell, and it wouldn't follow the course after another player. You would shoot it out, and then it would basically do a beeline towards the character. So if there's a wall in between, it's going to hit the wall, and then you've lost your shot. So there was still an element of you have to use it at the right time. You couldn't just throw it out. Later games introduced the blue shell, which I don't even want to talk about. In fact, I will talk about it because a friend of mine, me and him decided at one stage we would buy Nintendo DSs. We worked together and we traveled together a lot. We'd go over to London. And we thought we'd buy a Nintendo DS each so that we could play Mario Kart together whenever we're like traveling. And he done this thing where anytime we were playing against each other, he would hold way back, like 6th or 7th position, because I was going to talk about this later, but I'll mention it now. The weapons you get and the items you get are based on where you are in the position. So if you're up front, you'll get crappy weapons like bananas and coins, and if you're way at the back, you'll get red shells and invincibles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he used to intentionally stay way back so that he got a blue shell. Then once he got a blue shell, it'd start coming up. He'd wait, no matter what lap it was, he would wait until the last lap, wait till I'm coming up to the finish line. He'd hit me with the blue shell and he'd overtake me. And he had used this like horrible unsportsmanlike method every single time, to the point where I actually lost the rag and sold my Nintendo DS in a rage because I just didn't want to play with him anymore. That's how bad I took it. Like you hear about people rage quitting. I rage sold my console.
I'll say my
That
favorite
sounds
weapon.
good.
It was, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember these, but the mushrooms, those, getting that little
Yeah,
speed boost,
Mhm.
so underestimated. You still see it as a huge element today. There were other ones too, though. Like, you mentioned the banana peel. There was the green shell, which you had to aim, like, pretty much be a sniper with it. The feather
Yeah.
from Super Mario Bros. The feather.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember that?
The feather could
Of course.
completely like take you from seventh to first. If you used that for the right shortcut, it was an absolute winner. Absolute
Yep.
winner. Yeah.
And you don't see that a lot these days. I don't think that's in any of the recent Mario Kart titles. We still got the stars, coins, lightning as well, where it just zaps everybody, and you're just
Yeah.
zooming by them.
I can't even remember where that dropped off. I don't remember it being in Mario Kart 64. So
I can't either.
So I think that was a dead duck straight after the first game, which is surprising because, as I say, it was brilliant. It could help you so much. Lightning was an absolute bastard.
Everyone's small, you're still big, and you're just going to overrun them.
and then splatted. Yeah. It was one of those ones where whenever someone hit the lightning, like you'd feel that rage. Oh damn! I was in first place, got hit by lightning. But then whenever you'd run over you, and it does almost like that Looney Tunes kind of. you can't help but laugh.
I mean, this game was pretty cartoony too. Like even when you fall off a course, like the guy on the cloud coming up, like fishing you out.
Yeah, it's like Lakitu or something like that. You call that little character?
Yeah, something like this.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. So much fun.
Lakitu, I think Ducati. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's call him Cloud Guy for now.
Did you guys get much time out of the battle mode?
I had this one particular friend. He only wanted to play battle mode. I'm like, come on,
gosh,
play it. And I was always like, come on, let's just play like a Grand Prix or anything. He was like, no, battle mode is where it's at.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got like a big kick out of it, and I hated it.
I think our time was split fairly evenly between Grand Prix and battle mode. We loved battle mode. We played it till the death. The idea was you're in your little cart. You've got 4 balloons behind you. You run around. You run over the little question marks to get your items and your weapons. You hit someone with a green shell or a red shell. I mean, let's be honest. You were just whatever you got, you threw it away just to get a red shell.
Yeah.
And then once someone had no balloons left, that was it over. The courses were designed and built for battle mode, so you weren't going through, like Choco Island or Koopa Beach or anything like that. You were going through battle arenas. And they actually didn't do that. There was one of the modern Mario Kart games. I think it might be Mario Kart 8. The original release. They battle mode just sent you around the courses in a loop, which just didn't make sense. But back when they had the proper battle mode, we loved it. We absolutely loved it.
Yeah, battle mode. It's I mean, you could get pretty strategic with that too, right? Because you could do this in racing too, I guess, but it was more important to do in battle mode. I felt like where you could set up a banana peel on one of those little power up cubes, and before somebody grabs that and just gotcha. When you go to grab that.
It was the one. It was
right in front of the power ups. That was like the most devious move ever.
Oh man!
One of the power ups in like the game in general was Ghost, so you could steal someone else's weapon. And I always found that was a bit whatever in Grand Prix. That came into its own in battle mode because not only did you steal the other person's weapon, you then went invisible, and that was such an advantage. And don't forget this isn't like playing online games where you can't see where your other character is. Both of you are sitting in front of the same TV, so you can watch where the other character is. I mean, you can see it just behind me there if you're watching on the video podcast. You can see what the other person's doing, so even if they're invisible, you can kind of watch for the colors of the little blocks around them and get an idea of what part of the map they're on.
Screen peeking. That was the way. Screen peeking.
Super
don't look at my screen. Don't look at my screen.
And the more you play it, the more little tactics you started to pick up. And
yeah.
So much fun. Loved it.
That map was pretty intuitive too. The one where you can look at the bottom, and I think it's usually the bottom half of the screen anyway. And it shows. It's not even like we're today. If you have that map, like say you're playing Forza or something, and you can see kind of the overlay of it, a bird's eye view, and you've got those little dots, you know which one's yours because it's highlighted. Like on Mario Kart, they went all out for this. They put like entire character models driving around that course to see on the map. Not like you've got that already in the game, but you're seeing that on the map too simultaneously while you're playing, which is mind blowing to think about at that time because you don't see that today at all.
I always wonder why they did that. I think this was some like technical limitation or something because they had to go with the split screen because of the mode 7.
Yes.
At least that's what I heard. So they had to like incorporate the map on the lower half of the screen. So it's just not empty.
Yeah. I mean, it was mode 7 graphics, but literally it was just a flat plane. And that's all it was. You know, there was very little in there in terms of 3D graphics, and yet they still had to limit that to half the screen. And it shows you, as you say, it just shows you the limitations on the hardware. But yet they still managed to create, to me, one of the best experiences on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it was pretty good looking at the time, even though it's hard to go back and look at today at times, you know, with looking at Mario Kart 8 and things. But what about the music? What did you guys think about that? The sound of that game? Because
it's pretty iconic. Like even when you just started to talk about the music, I instantly had like the title melody. Yeah, exactly. And also with the Super Nintendo typical sound effects. This is like when you hear it, it brings back so many memories, like so much of my childhood, and it's even today they still use the same melodies, the same music, and just like do it with a band or an orchestra or anything, or just there. It's like light swing jazz versions or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is probably one of the best game soundtracks ever, in my opinion.
There's right at the start of every single race, you get that beep, 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 boop. I don't know if you remember this. Again, it's one of those things that probably wasn't in the manual. If you hit the accelerator button at just the right point, you start off with a boost.
Yeah.
And I remember we used to play this, and we actually had the sound of the TV off, and we'd have music on in the background. So we'd be listening to, you guys aren't going to know DJ Tizer and Eddie Ray, but we had all that stuff on in the background. And I could always get a boost. Now, see, if I play the game with the sound on, I cannot get a boost. I have
you need that audio cue.
I need to not have the audio. The audio throws me. I need to just go by the little lights, you know, the little lights that hover over the course at the start of it. I need to just focus on that. And it's just about halfway between the second and third one. You hit that accelerating button and pew, we boost at the start. But it's so funny that I can't do it with the audio on, you know? So talking about like sort of advanced mechanics within the game, whenever we started playing this, we were just like, hold down, accelerate, and steer left and right. And I remember one day we went round to my friend Darren's house, and he was like, you got to see this. And it's like, what is it? He's like, there's a way to go around corners and not slow down. And I'm like, what are you talking about, right? And he put up the game, and he showed me it, and he hits the right trigger button. Did we call it trigger buttons in there? The R button anyway.
No, it's just L and R.
L and R. Yep. He hits R,
and
the character does a little hop and skids around, and I'm just like, whoa, this is amazing. And it completely changed the game, you know. And again, that's, to me, that little power slide, that little hop on the power slide, that is Mario Kart. That is Mario Kart summed up to me. If they took that out, or if that hadn't have stuck with the series just wouldn't have got the same amount of love from me. I think that's my thing. That's what makes Mario Kart for me, those little power slides.
And also because it was not in the manual, like back in the day, I remember nobody's telling you anything. You cannot look stuff up on the internet, just finding this out, and then you're like, my mind is blown. My whole world is shattered and everything.
Yeah. You couldn't see like a YouTuber or a streamer or someone else do it first and go, oh, let me try that. You actually like did it first, whether it was on accident
it was either someone telling you in the playground, or else it was the latest episode of Nintendo Magazine, you know, with the guides and stuff. I wouldn't mind. I'd love to go and dig out like a Mario Kart manual to see what's in there. What does it actually tell you? You know, it's probably all in there, and we just kind of like manual. Whatever.
I think Double Dash had a pretty impressive manual, if I recall. I can't recall any other standouts for me. I'm sure there were some that just never stood out for any reason, but I think Double Dash had a really extensive manual, if I can recall that. It was great. Cards, characters, items, like, the kind of stuff you would expect to see back in that, 90s, early 2000s era.
Yeah. But I think also this was the heyday of manuals. Last episode I was here, we talked about the Halo manual, which is also really good. And just like these 2 to 3 years, early 2000s, come on, they really poured themselves into there.
Tell me this: did anyone play any really nasty, cheap, knockoff Mario Kart clones? And I'm not talking about some of the like Diddy Kong Race and anything like that. I'm talking the cheap crap ones.
Yeah, there was this one. I can't recall what it's called right now, and you're probably gonna laugh your ass off when I tell you on which console it was. Remember when Nokia tried to get into the handheld business?
Engage?
Yeah.
Yes. No way.
It was,
I had
garbage.
like the Taco phone, and but you can also install all the Symbian games on there, and there was some really, really cheap and bad Mario Kart knockoff. I can't recall what it's called now, but it was just really choppy and copying basically all the tracks, copying the characters pretty much. Just not good.
yeah. There was one I played on PC. I can't remember what it was called, but it was something like Animal Racing.
What?
I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna have to see if I could find it. I should probably have had a look before we've done this. But it was instead of having all your Nintendo characters, you just had a bunny and a pig and an elephant and a giraffe. And it was so similar. I mean, it looked almost identical. And the one thing that was missing was, as I've just touched on, the power slides. It was literally just stair left, slow up.
Oh gosh.
And it just felt so crap. But because I didn't have a Super Nintendo, I had an old awful PC, a 486. You may do, and I would sit and play that at home to try and get my Mario Kart fix whenever I couldn't go around to my friend's house to play it there.
I'll say I didn't have any sorry. I was just going to say, I didn't have any bad ones I played, but there were some good ones that I think Mario Kart helped to inspire. I think of the Crash Team Racings of the world, which, Crash Bandicoot adaptation and Mario Kart Racing. It's basically, you can call it a ripoff if you want to. I'd say it's its own independent title, but it gets a lot of nods from Mario Kart. Sonic All-Stars Racing. You just see so many of these little arcade racers and circuit racers and things like that, where it's literally the exact same formula from Mario Kart at this point. Not a whole lot of difference, and that's okay. Props to Mario Kart. So no bad ones for me.
Yeah.
I think at the start, whenever any sort of Mario Kart, no, not Mario Kart, any type of karting game came out, because Mario Kart had set the scene, a lot of people were like, "Oh, rip off. They've just copied Nintendo." But I think in hindsight, Nintendo had just created a new genre, the kart racer.
Yeah.
And it's just someone else doing a kart racer now is not considered a ripoff. It's another kart racer game. Of course, none of them are as good as Mario Kart, if you ask me.
There's one in my opinion.
Oh, really?
There's one in my opinion, and it's a bit of a stretch. But remember, I think it was on the Xbox 360 and PS3, Blur.
Oh,
was that a kart racer?
That's the thing. It was not a kart racer. It was all real cars and real courses and everything. Sure. Or not real courses, but real world courses. But when you started playing it, it is basically Mario Kart with a paint of edgy.
I get what you're saying.
Of edgy.
I get what you're saying. It's like a Need for Speed version or a Midnight Club version of Mario Kart, right?
Yeah, 100%. And this was actually, in my opinion, the game that came closest to it, even though from the whole setting and the graphics, it was the farthest away from Mario Kart. But
was Blur the racer? Was that the racer with big set pieces? So there'd be planes crashing into buildings and sort of towers falling over and stuff.
No, there was another one.
I think that was MotorStorm.
No, there was another one. I think it came out about the same time as
Blur. There was another one which was published by Disney, but Blur was published by Activision.
Oh, Split. Split, I think is the one you're talking about.
Split Second.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
exactly.
But Blur was pretty much basically Mario Kart with cool soundtrack, cool power-ups, and like I said, in my opinion, the only game that really comes close to being as good as Mario Kart, but not completely.
Anything else you guys want to touch on then?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I guess since we're talking about Mario Kart, it's hard. I know we're talking about the SNES version, but it's hard not to
Sure.
acknowledge all the other ones I'm sure we're going to
Absolutely.
talk about at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
What would be your guys' favorite Mario Kart game? I know we've had a million entries in this series across so many consoles. What would be your favorite Mario Kart?
Mine is the original, but since we've just, talked about every element of it, I'll go with my second favorite. My second favorite would have been Double Dash. I really, really enjoyed that.
Oh.
But I've got a lot of time for the GameCube. Love the GameCube, and that's a big part of it. So yeah, Double Dash. The introduction of having like two characters on each vehicle and stuff. I thought that was a fun little element.
Some good tracks on that one too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I like the mechanic, like with switching up the drivers, having two drivers on it. Really, really fun times.
Yeah.
What was your favorite, Alex?
Actually, I think I would go with Mario Kart 64 because this is the one that I played the most. There was this youth club in the city where I was living in, and they had like a Nintendo 64 set up on like a big screen, like a projector. So I was just going there after school, firing up Mario Kart and playing with friends there. And yeah, good times. And also, I think this game has still, in my opinion, at least the best courses. The highway, I don't know what it was called, like where you can drive up the trucks and like jump off of them.
Oh, yes.
Or like the Rainbow Road version in this game, where you can jump off the course and jump like cut the course in half and jump down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would probably be my favorites.
I'll say for me, I'm at a tie here between, I think, Mario Kart DS, maybe an unpopular opinion there, but I thought it was a brilliant game, and Mario Kart 8 and Double Dash. I guess you could throw it in there too. It's just a lot of fond memories of that. But Mario Kart 8, I mean, I'm sure that's hitting hard for a lot of the younger ones out there, but I'll say even today, I still play that. I still fire it up. Maybe it's just easily accessible because everybody in the family has it, but the friends and I, it's just easy to play. It's 4-player. It's, easy on the eyes too. It's technically impressive for what it's able to do on, the Switch and every other console it's come out on at this point. But those are my big ones for the Mario Kart series.
It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. One thing I have to touch on, because I've been way too positive throughout this, so I have to dunk on something. Putting bikes in Mario Kart, what were you thinking? I hate them. I hate
Really? You didn't like that?
I hate them with a passion.
I love it.
They're
so fast.
Yeah, but they just don't look right. They look like they don't belong there, and I think they control like god awful. And I just
this is
no.
This is just like putting walking into Tony Hawk's games. That's basically the same.
Yeah, fair play. I love it personally. I think that appeals to more people too, is having the option for the traditional carts, the small, the big, and then you've got the bikes, right? So to each their own on that. But I love the bikes. Keep them.
Yeah. Well, we have to gut. I've played a load of Mario Kart 8, but I haven't actually went online with it. So we should get like a little session set up some night.
I do, but man, I get destroyed. Every time I get on there, like I like to think I'm top tier at Mario Kart, but I get online and usually I'll do pretty good, but there are stretches where I just get absolutely plowed on there. And geez, like some people
that means a different thing to me.
I'm sure. Well, maybe it's the same thing. Who knows? But
but yeah, let's hop on the session. I'm all for it. Seriously.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should.
Future of Game Savers, ladies and gentlemen. A Mario Kart stream coming to you if Nintendo doesn't take us down first.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if there are just like two people sitting here in the next episode, because friendships are broken over this.
Yeah, so that's basically our thoughts and opinions, and a little bit of reminiscing about a classic game, Super Mario Kart. I think we'll wrap things up there. I think we've covered everything we can and everything we should. We're hoping to do more of these retrospectives. So if you're on our social medias, if you're on our Facebook, you're on our YouTube or Twitter or any of those things, hit us up. If there's no game you want us to talk about, whether it be a game we've played that we can talk about, or a game we haven't played that we can go and give a sort of fresh perspective on, we'd love to do that as well. So as I say, comments, suggestions, get in contact. we'd like this show to be as much yours as it is ours, with a lot of sort of feedback and interaction and telling us what you want from us. So I think without further ado, I'll thank Alex for coming on. Alex, is there anything you want to plug before you go?
No.
Excellent.
A man, a few words.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just throw in this real quick. I mean, thanks to everybody that's listening again. If you're just now joining us, I know we haven't shown Nintendo the most love in the world with us, premiering this podcast in the era of, things like the new consoles coming out for PlayStation, Xbox, but definitely going to be giving Nintendo a lot more love here in the future too. And I hope this is a good start to that. So thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate it. And thanks Alex for being on, and Wayne for being the captain of the ship today.
So we'll say
thanks for having me again.
Cool.
Always a good time, and I love being here. Seriously.
So we shall say our farewells, and as always, don't forget to save your game. I can't find the stop button.
Oh, I'm keeping that. I'm keeping that in it.